Hello everyone, welcome to iTeLearn.com. My name is Karthik. I hope you all can hear me good. And I welcome you all to a new program called Entry to IT. So primarily team, I think we've spoken about this briefly. In today's session, what we are doing is more like orientation. This is to get you a good idea on what is part of this training, and also it will tell you is it for you or not. Now as I type on my screen and as I speak, I am assuming you all are able to see the same at your end team. Also letting you all know before we continue some of the basic housekeeping. So a lot of you are attending this live. We will also record these sessions and have them available on iTeLearn.com for the members to be able to go back and view at any time. So team, without further delay, let's kind of focus on entry to IT. But last couple of things in terms of housekeeping. In the live, you have an option to use Q&A, where you have a question regarding what we are doing in the training and you would love to put that forward. So in your go-to webinar that you have joined using, you have a way to interact with us. What I will typically do is every 15-20 minutes through the session, I'll kind of break for a small Q&A. Now, when we do the recorded option, we have the similar thing where we have tech support and project support that is available to you offline. So especially for people viewing or attending as offline, like non-live, the training videos. All right. I'm going to quickly wrap this text also, and we can delete the first few lines. Now team, the other thing is by default you're all muted. So only towards the Q&A, when there are questions that you want to ask, at that time raise your hand please, and we will unmute you. All right. Now, any specific questions before I move forward team with what we're planning to do with entry to IT? I basically want to cover about who is this training for, like any prerequisites that we have. I will also talk about what you will learn. I will also talk about how you can build and grow within IT. And we can talk about the training schedule and what we expect you to be doing at that time. All right, what did I schedule? Totally misspelled. Schedule. All right. So team, I'm assuming no questions at this point and we're good to go forward. So I don't want to take more than 30 minutes for orientation. We are about 15 minutes into the session. So I believe we should be able to start exploring on a training as well in today's session itself. So the first and foremost thing, team, I want to talk about who is this training for. Now, the main purpose of this program is to design something for absolute beginner. Someone who's totally non-IT, does not know anything about software, hardware, or dev, or code, or QA, and so on, has got nothing to do with it. And then we will talk about how this is gonna be an area that could interest you, team. Now, when I say this training is for absolute beginners, the minimum thing that we expect you is to have basic PC skills where you're able to attend this webinar or watch the videos and be able to practice on what we show. All right, team. There is a simple learning model that I will introduce you to as we go along, but the concept that we will go about is very simple, team. More than what you will learn, it is how you will learn IT. Okay? Or anything, team. The only way that I know as Karthik and our trainers at iTeLearn is to give you a project-based training. What does that really mean? In simple terms, I will tell you, team. When we go about our entire hunt in terms of acquiring knowledge, what is it that we really want to do? At the end, we want to get paid for our effort and be able to position ourselves as someone who knows a skill that clients can hire or recruit or use your skill set to get some project executed. So knowledge is the first section where you'll get to learn what is there into it. And then comes the next stage, which is skill development, which is very, very specifically important to IT industry because there is a concept called hands-on. All right, and we'll talk a lot about that. That basically says that your skill on using a tool, whatever tools we will talk about on what you will learn now, that skill you have to show that yes, I know how to do it. Be it a Microsoft Excel or be it even a tool like, let's say, ERP like Salesforce and so on. All right. Now, once you have the skill, then what you do is you have to look at project work. You have to look at assessing yourself, how you're doing. Then you kind of make up your profile. And profile basically talks about, how do you want to present yourself into the market. And then finally, you hunt for the job or requirement that suits you and gets you to that position. Now, team, there are a few poll questions that I would love to ask you, but let's talk about what you will learn and then we'll go further. So all through this training, team, we will go through this kind of a simple model and know that, hey, we're just not trying to understand something or learn something as knowledge. We want to absolutely get our hands dirty, sit down and work on those tools, and we want to build a project portfolio that I'm capable. Be it building a website or a mobile application, or you want to, let's say, test an application, any service. One second, team. All right, team. So now, how you will learn IT project-based training, how we go about acquiring knowledge, then skill, then you do your project work, and then you kind of prepare what we call as your resume. Then you market or do your job hunt, and then you face your interviews, and then dollar. All right, everyone. At any point you see that something is not visible or any issues, let us know, team. I have my support staff also joined in who can guide us. So just letting you all know, for people who just joined, we are in the orientation session. So this is more like the first beginning of what is it that we want to do. Okay. In this, we talked about who this training is for and how you will go about learning IT through iTeLearn.com. And now let's talk about what you will learn. I'm sure you've been exposed to a few things, but basically what I want you to learn is IT a right field for you or not? I think that's the most important first question that we have to answer, team. And the way I will help you do it is make it simple milestones. The primary difference, team, is when you have a guided tour, you get someone to tell you exactly what to do, and that is my duty as your trainer. I'm going to break down your learning of IT into very simple milestones. So at any point, when you stop what you're doing, you don't fall 10 steps back. You have built it so well that you can go back one step and go up again couple of steps. Now, once we fundamentally set this up and you to realize, yes, is this the right field for me or not? Then we will go into some of the basics, team. And I think the most important thing that we can start with is a notepad, a MS Word, a simple Microsoft Excel, and how about a PowerPoint too. More importantly than to just teach these tools, why are they needed? Why did it come? Always remember this, team. So some kind of a notes I'll start putting and I'll show you how I will organize everything. As of now, you're just seeing a simple notepad. I did not even save this. Okay. Team, just letting you know if there's too much background noise, let me know. I'll try and cut it from next session. Uh, yes, what did I want to write? Any innovation starts with a pain or a problem, and then we come up with a solution that helps us. Look at around your world. Someone has seen that, hey, there's a need for WhatsApp. Someone has seen a need for Facebook or Instagram, or even these tools like Java or HTML. They said, hey, I want to make better websites. Okay, let's do Angular JS. So much has come only because of one thing. Any innovation, the start is there is a problem or a pain that was trying to get addressed. Thank you. So now that I feel is very important, team, for us to start. Why are these tools even come into use, and what is it that we will learn? Now, what is next, team? What is it that we need to learn that will shape us into understanding? Look at this way. I'm just gonna clean up a little bit here. In IT or information technology or in the software domain, which we all know has been there for the last 3 decades at least, predominantly in a life for us around us, look at it as a T diagram, team. All right. Now, in that horizontal line, there are multiple things, different fields and streams. Things like a Java developer or an ERP consultant or a data scientist or someone who's an expert in machine learning or blockchain or DevOps or SDET or software test automation, database, building websites, building mobile applications, you know, building graphics, user experience. There's so many things, right? Now, I want you to get a simple exposure to them to understand, oh, this is why we want to build mobile apps. Oh, this is why we need an ERP. Oh, I see. This is where some kind of a DevOps comes into picture. So, like an overview, more like an orientation towards multiple streams within IT. At that time, I wanted to sit down with us and get counsel to choose one strong area and build on it. You cannot spread across complete IT team. So I want to see if your passion and your career is kind of lined up with some kind of an expertise within IT that you can work on. And this plan could be very simple to very large. So we'll not talk about the dollar potential of what you can earn, team. It is more of, let's talk about introducing you to IT. All right, great. So what else do I want to talk about? How to make a website. Won't that be interesting? A simple website we will talk about. And through this, we will get introduced to concepts like HTML, little bit of CSS, what they are, team. Again, I'm not going to go make you an expert into them. We will choose a stream and then you can go about from there. We will also talk about something called as a CMS or WordPress and so on. I also want you to understand how to make a simple mobile application. I know it's not easy as you see, but the way I see as a trainer, it is just nothing but a set of series of steps. And believe me, team, don't think that IT is all programming. So there are a lot of notions that I want to correct. Okay. IT slash software field has today got how do I put a big word like has has today got more options in non-coding base. So what I mean to say, even if you don't want to do what we call as software development or coding or programming like C language, Java, Python, and so on, whatever here, there are still so many career options that you can choose. Understanding the basic concepts of this becomes important, team. We'll talk about maybe using Android, if possible, a little iOS also, team, just as an introduction to what it does. What else is it there that we can learn, or I believe that one should know the basic fundamentals? What do you think, team? And I want to keep this more audience focused. So while the audience, you tell me what else do you think that we need to look at as an entry to IT? Remember the T diagram? What else do you think? We can talk about a lot of things. I have a lot in my mind, team, but I want you to kind of help me. While you're doing that, I'm going to quickly launch a couple of questions, team, on the poll that will come up on your screen. This kind of helps me to understand the audience, team. So the first poll is there for all the live members at this time. We've got this poll in front of you, team. It's basically a simple question. Who are you? Are you someone who's got nothing to do with IT, absolutely not worked in any kind of an IT field? Or are you someone who's worked in IT, but not significant, like a little bit, not really like weeks or months, maybe? IT trained means you've kind of gone through one of a training program where they exposed you to a good tool. Working in IT is someone who's already in the industry and you are have a career in it and you're building on it. When I say IT expert, I mean more in terms of you've been there in the industry for over a decade. Who's someone who's has that core passion and who's looked beyond just a simple career in IT. So team, I'll give another 10 seconds for you to kindly fill the poll answers. I've got about 60% votes in. So once you finish this, I can close the poll. All right, team, I've got 80% votes. I'm going to close the poll in 5 seconds. Kindly, everyone, finish this in. Thank you, team. For those of you who could not complete the poll, next time be a little alert, team, so we can get it going. It is important for us to cover this training at a varied pace. So I'm going to show the poll results. Can you all see the poll results on your screen right now, team? Yes. So that's basically who is attending this session. So 30% of you absolute beginner to IT, and welcome you all, team, for, and even 10% of you some IT, so 40% of you are there. And then IT trained 45%, that basically means that you have got some good exposure to one program at least. Working in an IT expert 15%. Thank you again for being here. Though it's an entry to IT, I think your presence will add value, team. At iTeLearn.com, what we are doing in terms of IT education, I just want to request you to follow us on our website and the social network. There's a lot that we're coming up with, team. But for entry to IT, this is the audience that we currently have. So I hope you all have seen this, and I can hide this poll, team. Thank you. I'm going to hide this now. Great. Team, one more poll question. Where are you from? I take, I think 30 seconds. We should be able to close this poll. All right, team, I've got about 70% votes in. Can I request you all to fill it in? Where are you from? Your geographical location, please. Are you from the US, America side, or India, South Asia, Australia, New Zealand, UK, Europe, or other countries? Just to understand where's the audience coming from. All right, team, I'm closing the polls in 5 seconds. Please get your votes in, everyone. Thank you. All right, and here are the polls on your screen. So 80% of you are from the, I am assuming it'll be, when I said America, it's US and Canada. And 10% of you are there from the India and some continental areas. 5% Australia, New Zealand, 5% other countries. Thank you so much for spreading out. I know iTeLearn.com, when I started the way I started in 2008 at Los Angeles, it was all focused towards a large IT or non-IT community in the US. And today we are expanding a lot within the Indian and subcontinental markets too, because we believe there's a huge potential on what we can learn. Thank you all for joining into this. I'm going to hide this poll and let's get back to the session. Sorry, there was a question. Do I mean origin or living? I meant more of living, team, where you're currently based out of. Okay, awesome. So let's continue. Now, I'm still waiting for the audience inputs as to what else do you think we need to understand to become someone in IT nicely. Don't you think you need to understand something called as SDLC? What is a software development life cycle? Oops. And all the associated things that come along with the team. Now, I know as I write words, they may look very strong. They may look, hey, you know what, that's too much already. Look at this. I think till this line, it should be okay with most of us. But once we come here, it's kind of, I've never done this. So is it something for me or not? Don't worry about it. We're going to take baby steps, team. The only thing that you'll need to commit is continue to be part of a program. Just stay on. All right. What else do you need to understand, team? I'm talking entry to IT. So this is giving you a breadth of things and that gives you a choice to go deep into it. Team, what else do you think? You also, I believe, you need to understand the difference, basic difference between a software and hardware at a very high level, team. What is it? How does it work? How do computers or any kind of a processor work at a very, very high level? We will not go into depth, team. This is to understand, oh, okay, this is nice. We have to then look at what area you want to master. All right. Now, anything else? I'm just waiting for audience. You can put your suggestions in the chat. Project experience. That's a good question. Definitely, I'm going to put you through live projects, team. When I say live projects, they're actual projects that we have that we need to do. Taslima, new tools. Or let's look at IT tools. What does what? All right. To get an idea, IT tools, look at it like more like a element chart in chemistry that we have. We should have some chart like that. I also strongly believe, team, that you'll need to develop logical and analytical skills. Logical thinking, analytical, how do you analyze situations, critical reasoning. That becomes important, team. Because the most important thing with IT that we need to understand is a human is trying to communicate to another human. Direct was okay earlier. Now we've put an IT kind of a module in between. So what does that mean? If a human has to communicate to another human, now they have to understand how this IT in between works. So they have to analyze and give instructions and work accordingly. I know that a lot of us may have experienced programs where they said, okay, you know what, logical analytical is not my cup of tea, or maths is not, or I'm not good at coding. No problem, team. I'm not saying that you need to choose. You just need to be aware. Exposure and awareness is key. That is what we thrive at. We give you that platform to begin your learning from. Don't you all want to write a code, a program, a basic, maybe Java? I don't know, maybe C, but Java is something is convenient, very simple. What does a program look like and how do we write a code? Shouldn't we do that, team? And then I also want to prepare you on air. It is more like a discipline of working from home. This, from my perspective, team, is one of the biggest economic outbursts that you will see happening globally. What would happen is across the world, now you're seeing blockchain and you're seeing some words called Bitcoin, where there's an exposure where they're saying, hey, I don't want a dollar and a Canadian and a pound and a euro and a Indian rupee. Let's all, why country based dollars? Let's have a system online where we just transfer money to each other directly and keep a account as a ledger as to how much we've transferred to whom. That basically has enabled a platform to say that world is the marketplace, team, and it comes under a concept called Uberization. You all know Uber cabs, how they build the technology marketplace for someone who wants to go from A to B and someone who has a car to connect well, and both are happy about it. Now, when it comes to software, IT, as you go about learning, I want you to build a discipline of working from home. What this does, team, whenever you have a conversation, be it an interview or you are talking to someone, the way you will present yourself with your documentation, with your voice, with your organization of everything on your system, and how you communicate very effectively, that becomes important. And from me, this is a methodology, but a lot of these things can be learned using checklist. What's a checklist, Tim? Primarily telling us, okay, I have 10 things to do, then I know that I've done it. It gives me an assessment. With this new live training, there are a lot of things that we want to introduce, team. As we go about learning, I want you to know where you are. Okay. Let us assume entry to IT is a course. I know it's not a specialization course, but it's a course. It's a 5 weeks course, for example. In that 5 weeks course, let us assume that you fell back a little bit with the class, or you want to know where you are. So have you completed 20% of your milestones or 70%, or where are you? So to make you easily come back into the speed with what we're doing. We want to definitely put you through real projects, team. That is what it is. What it means is a lot of internships that we will conduct. We have been doing the internship activities very, very strongly at Verkasa Inc., which is iTeLearn.com's parent company. In fact, some of the products that we've developed, I'm very proud to say it's been done by our own students. And that was an amazing effort, team. So I am not looking at all of you as students. I'm looking at you as a new global consulting workforce where I know that I don't want to spoil you by saying that I will build you only from work from home. But what I mean to say is once you have the discipline, you can work from anywhere. And there are few things, team, that IT industry experts expects in terms of what people call as finishing school, grooming school, finishing school, grooming school, right? Well, let's say you've finished your engineering or your degree, or you've gone through your master's, MC, anything, and then you know that, hey, you're still not ready for the job in a company like Accenture or Google or Deloitte or IBM, a large IT consulting firm. Okay. Why? Because you still don't know how the actual project looks like. How do actual people work in a real time atmosphere? How is the difference between bookish and hands-on knowledge? And that is what we want to do. So what you're looking at here is just not to help you specialize in a area in IT or introduce you to it, but we want to get you to finish that line, team. Get you to be ready to start working. Now, like I said, this program will go on more like entry to IT, so beginner level, and we parallelly have a lot of more advanced trainings that are going deeper into each of them. At this point, team, any quick questions? I'm going to pause the recording for a couple of minutes. All right, team. So, team, this is very important. Be here or not. Do not do multitasking. Do not try and put this is an audio and do any other activity. Give your 100% focus to it. There is going to be significant benefit. All right, team. Now, I'm going to take a few questions that have come up in the audience. If there are no other questions, team, I'm assuming with that you have no questions, then we can move on then. Looking for QA internship projects. So, Jitendra, when it comes to software testing and automation and building these frameworks, anything to do with QA and automation, we have many activities that we're doing. So please contact our team, reach out to Ruxana at iTeLearn, at Varkasa, and she will guide you. There's one question. Want to clarify, as being tester, why we have to be exposed to 10 tools versus developer need to know how many tools? Yeah. How can I know that I'm ready to apply for jobs? This is a very amazing question, Steve. First question is, I'm going to copy this question. Want to clarify, as being tester, why we have to be exposed to 10 tools versus developer need to know how many tools. So it's exactly like the T diagram that I was kind of emphasizing some time back, right? Earlier what happened was either I was only a developer or a tester or a deployment engineer actually it starts with more like I am the customer, I'm a business analyst who understands the requirements. I'm a project manager who will kind of put the IT team together. I have a development design team actually, which designs how that product should look. Then we will go into coding or development. Then we will do QA or testing. Then we do something called as deployment, and then we do ongoing product support. All right, roughly the phases, and this is what is called as software development life cycle. All right, team. In a few minutes, I would like to start with more like an intro to day one, team, and what is it that day one will look like. Okay, so to that question, where was that question? Let me quickly go. Want to clarify, right? So this is how it was, team, earlier. Now, in the last, I would say about 7 to 8 years, a lot of concepts like shift left started coming, where they said, why should QA start so and why should we wait for so long? Why don't we start involving ourselves at the very early stages? And they said that let's not do something called as waterfall. We will talk about waterfall and agile methodologies also, team. But again, you have to understand the core concept. That is what we'll focus on. Now, customer has a requirement. We analyze the business and so on. It started getting narrower. So now software dev tester had to know a little bit on unit testing or black box testing. They also needed to understand how the design would have impact testing, and are the requirements in fact coming correctly, and so on. This requires many tools to understand project management tools, to understand how we do user experience and how we share visualization tools. All these things started coming. And then things like DevOps. Hey, when you did all this, we can also help in taking that application that we built and tested to put it in such a way that end users can start using. And then we said, okay, very nice. The cycle is typically 6 months from a requirement to that solution being going live. That is called waterfall. And then we say, no, 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 that is too long. By the 6 months time, the customer's requirements is changing. Market is too fast. We can't wait so long. Let's go more agile. And we said, let's cut it down into every 2 weeks. So instead of saying I will launch 100 things in 6 months, I'm saying I will start launching only smaller things in every 2 weeks. Easy to maintain, easy to test, and also easy for the end user. Biggest problem what will happen, team? Let's say WhatsApp, for example, in today's world. If WhatsApp as a company decides to bombard you with multiple features, like let's say group video conference, and how do you do screen shares, and whatever be it, how you can do recording of things, make it for business. If they bombard you, won't the audience, their current customer base of over a billion, I'm assuming, get confused? They want the customers to go through that journey. So this whole model of how it shifted becomes very critical for us to understand, team. So unlike earlier, in today's world, only one tool won't really help. You need a combination of tools. And they package them together and said that is called as a data scientist, or someone who's an expert at machine learning, or someone who's a DevOps engineer, or SDET, software development engineer in test. All of these words that you see, a lot of them, at least most of them, have come up in the last 3-4 years, team, not prior to that. And don't you think there'll be more things coming? So from our perspective, do not worry about it. That is correct. You are expected to learn more tools. Now, when it comes to learning tools, it is more from your project based, need based, and that is where it's a gradual learning curve, team. All right. Let me see for the questions if there are any from the audience. When can I know that I'm ready to apply for jobs? Wow, this is important. This is how do we answer this question, team? When can I know that I'm ready to apply for jobs? Is it a skill that the market needs immediately or not, right? Okay, number one, team, entry to IT is like 5 weeks. Okay, let's say 3 hours each day, team. 1 hour lecture, you have to practice for about 2 hours. Okay, 1 hour training, 2 hours practice, which we will kind of oversee what's happening. Now, 6 months it will take to specialize in a mid-level, small to mid-level IT. What I mean to say, to become something like those DevOps engineer, or a data scientist, or someone who's an SDET, or let's say even a user experience designer or visualization, it would take team about 6 months. However, there are skills that can get you work faster. We will explore some of it, team. I won't. But for you to focus, I would say this. Give it 6 months to become a specialist, team. It wouldn't take anything sooner. If you're already in IT and you want to upgrade a skill, then 2 months you should be able to do it. All right. Do I answer your question, team? So how long I said, then if you're new to IT, okay, this is new to IT, then 6 months. All right. Can you elaborate on the internships when you have time, please? I'm assuming it is open to all. Sure. There is an amazing chart also that I drew on internship that I will share. I'm actually writing things everywhere. Is it? Okay, these are the questions. Q&A. So I've kind of answered a few questions. Internship. I'm going to write it the way it is, very well written. Team, I really appreciate all of you taking your minutes to think about what you need to know further. Put that into the chat and ask the question. I'll be happy to answer. On the internships, when you have time, sure. I think for today's session, a lot, but very simple, team. My main company is called Verkasa Inc. I have incorporated this company in the United States about 9 years ago, team. Now, as part of Verkasa Inc., our main brands are iTeLearn, where we've been doing e-learning on IT for the last 10 years. Then, as part of this, I needed a backend team which helps me with digital marketing, branding, web and mobile app development. And I built this team called Atomic 77. And out here, we do a lot of amazing development activities, team. So we use a lot of web development frameworks and mobile development activities there. And then we have developed another product called Anyot. This is an amazing, our own in-house built flagship product that is primarily a test management and an automation tool built in one. So a lot of iTeLearn audience have been doing internship project within Anyot, because within Anyot you will find all the possible skills, team. Web development, mobile application development, core Java programming like NetBeans, Swing, and so on. There's desktop application development, Selenium WebDriver, Protractor, oh, immense, team, and the kind of technology. So within Anyot, we've already spent about a couple of years on this application at our end. I'm sure that we will spend another 5-6 years at least on this platform. So there are a lot of activities that we do to continuously come up with new innovations in our product, and this requires constant work. At Atomic 77, we need a lot of internship assistance to. So far, what we've been doing is all these software test automation engineers that we've been creating have been testing out the web and mobile applications that Atomic 77 have been building, not just for internal, but for dozens and dozens of customers that we have acquired in that space. What we are already also working on, but not yet totally active on as a platform, is QAOnAir.com. The concept is very simple, team. We want to build your profile and create an online identity. So even if it's not necessarily a full-time job, you know that you have a good chance maybe to get a part-time opportunity. So again, don't focus on them. Focus on how do you become an expert in something. All this will follow, team. Internship, that is how we have. How the program works, I will explain as we keep going along. All right, Shamila? Let's see. There's another question. I'm going to take a few more questions, Tim. This becomes important. That's the main thing for live. So here's the question. I've been doing the manual testing for the last 10 years, but market has changed a lot. All the companies require you write the code as well for automation. So for this one specifically, I think we are way beyond that. So what you're saying is they want automation engineers was about a 4 years or 3 years old story. They just don't want automation engineers. They want QA, they want development, they want automation tool and how you do. They want someone who knows a little bit of DevOps. They would also want you to be someone who's called an SDET, software development engineer in test. Team, remember one thing. IT is an never-ending evolution. So it is going to keep on evolving. New things will keep coming. What does that mean? If you have to stay in the industry, learning must be constant. If, for example, we spent last 10 years in the industry and we have not upgraded our skills, then we are having a huge risk. You understand what I'm saying? We cannot afford not to acquire the required skills. There are fears, team, that we have that chase us as human beings. Oh man, first learning itself, if it's gonna be the basics, so tough. And if I have to keep learning every year, like learn for survival, this looks like a tough job. It looks like a tough job, but it's gonna be a lot of fun, and we're gonna make it simple, team. Realize this. We're not chasing after millions or billions of dollars right now. We're chasing after a livelihood and beyond, correct? So I think we'll be able to easily do that. When I can work as an intern, okay, this is going to be critical, team. First and foremost thing as part of this training, and I know I've kind of put things together, is I need to know each of you. I need to, team, need to know each of you. And team, if you have observed any grammar errors, spell corrections in my document, let me know, because Notepad that is comes with all your systems does not show you that. Oops, I think how are we doing on time, team? How much time did we spend? Did we spend almost an hour, right? I think so. Yes, cool. So I know it's a 1.5 hour session, but I'll try and narrow it down. And I want to talk about day one, team. Now, when I can work as an intern, I would give it about 3 weeks minimum, team, of training. What happens is very simple. Here is how our project works happen, team. All right. Our projects, when I say projects, these are not dummy projects or so on, team. We don't have anything called dummy at iTeLearn. Everything is for real. Our projects are typically start anywhere between 20 to 30 interns at a time. 1 second, team. I'm sorry, I went on mute, wanted to grab a little water. This is how it works, team. Now 20 to 30 interns, each at different level. Let's like some is beginner, some is very advanced, all the way, right? So if we have a nice pyramid, that's what I call nice pyramid. You know what's a pyramid, team? I wanted to expose you to a lot about this IT team. Nice pyramid. Anything in IT is called a pyramid, okay? Now this is like a pyramid that you'll see in Egypt, like a triangle. Now the strength of this pyramid is the foundation, the base. All right, how do we put it up? And then we structure it and so on. Now within an IT organization, we look at it in a similar way. How? 1 second, team. Sorry, thank you, team. Little under the weather, so had to pause. So what does that mean? If I have, let us say, a team of 10 people in one project, all right? So there'll be one lead, okay? There will be two senior developers, all right? And there will be maybe 5 junior developers. So when I can work as an intern basically means depending on where is the vacancy and where you are at. Okay, let us say there's a project where the pyramid is nice, well balanced, and we have some space here. Sure, we can get you here. But let us say the project is not balanced, we don't have the lead active, then it's a problem. Now, this is a good pyramid. What is a bad pyramid, for example, that the IT industry has gone through? I started my career in 1998, team. That is when, right after my engineering through campus selection, I got into the IT industry and I worked with a multinational ERP, product development companies. So I was very glad. When I started, I saw pyramids in this nice shape. Okay, nice, well structured. One on top, two to three on between, and then up to six on bottom. All right, manageable. Then what happened? We started getting flatter. In today's world, this is the pyramid. There's still one on top. Instead of two to three in between, there is sure there's still like maybe three in between. But you know how many people are there down? 50 people. Maybe this is two. So it's got flatter. This is what it is, team. So how can two people guide, handhold, and groom 50 people? Because team, we have all not come through just IT education. A lot of us have learned on the job, correct? So depending on how our pyramids are, team, will keep getting you in. All right, so that should not be a problem. Are you all with me? I'm taking it very easy because it's more of an orientation. So I think we are good with the questions of our team. Can we quickly talk about what we want to do with day one, everyone? All right, team. Now let's talk about entry to IT. Is that a good short code? Day one, agenda, I'll talk about team. Or what is the approach? First and foremost thing, what did I tell you that we do differently at iTeLearn, everyone? Ours is a project-based approach. So I need to get a project. Second is then how do we execute that project? Then let's start doing it. Now, as part of this, we have to learn certain things. So what I want to teach you as part of that is the first topics. Very briefly, we'll start here, team. Okay. Want technology, tools, skills, anything you see, team, typically interchangeable words. And I know there are a lot of jargons. There's some amazing sources to learn across the internet, team. Ours is more like a guided tour, and we will walk you through that. Now, these are the skills that we need to learn. When we started computers, I think we didn't even have Windows, even before Windows, when we just had DOS. So it was very command line interaction. I say something to the computer, computer tells me something back, right? But I think in today's world, we should talk about a requirement, let's say a project, something that we want to do. Now, when we do that, it will help us to learn this. So as part of working on this project, we will start learning the skills and we will not stop there. We will go about into the remaining portions. Okay, now where is this? Here. Then we will see why do we need to make a website? How do we do it? Why do we need a mobile application? Then we will go into some theory topics, team. Till then, we will not do too much theory. Okay. So the first few this will take us about easily about 10 days. So that's going to be very, very exciting and interesting. Then we'll go a little into theory. Then we'll go back into a little bit of coding. So we'll mix and play it around to keep it interesting. But remember, at the bottom, our approach is project-based approach. Now, I will give you a simple requirement team that I have. Okay, I'm not going to name you. Always remember, this is given to solve problems. Project means that we want to solve a problem or a situation. Now, the challenge that we have is, how do I put it? I have it, I'm just trying to put it in a very nice way that will not scare you. The project, what is the problem that we have is, how do I put it, team? I'm drawing blank. You know what is drawing blank? Drawing blank means I'm lost. Suddenly I don't know what to do. I know there are a few things, but then I'm looking at the audience and I want to make sure that I don't confuse you. Do you all know what is business? Basically, you buy something, you do something with it, and you sell it, and you make a profit or loss, correct? Now, team, quick question to all. Don't you think all the jobs that you will apply for are for a business? Yes, everyone? So, are there jobs where you're applying for where the end result is not to serve a company or a business? Just think about it. Maybe NGO, non-government or non-profit organizations, but they still have operational costs, salaries, and so on. They still have to survive. How do businesses survive? Businesses survive simply by making profit, team. Correct? Now, understand this. IT is a tool for business. That's it. Like car is a tool, like phone is a tool, and so on. IT is a tool. In your car, you have multiple options for transportation, not just car. You have metros, you have flights. There's so much for transportation. In phones, again, you have the same thing, that variety. Okay. Now, the problem that we have to solve should always be a business problem. That is what you should start thinking about. I have a new customer, team, to Atomic 77. All right. They want to set up, they basically want to, how do I put it? Sell XYZ to ABC. In this case, XYZ is something in the food and beverages industry, and ABC is a geographical audience. All right. Now, let's talk a little bit about this team. This is very important. Now, this is, where are we? This is all about day one itself. For a business to do good, what is it that we will do, team? The first and foremost thing is called bookkeeping. We talk about something called as Hisab Kitab in English, in Hindi, or a ledger system that we call about as to what we bought, what we sold, how much is the balance, and so on. So it is all about customers, team. Now, for this business, I'm going to take a name. Now, this customer is non-named yet. We don't have a name for it. We'll know the name as we go about this project, team. This project came to Atomic 77 on the 26th. I mean, why is this showing? This is US time zone, I think. It came yesterday, team, to us. So now we will need to build. Let us keep it very simple, team, for our understanding. And I will talk about as we build that business, how we go about. Now, I'm again writing this. Let us assume that they want to sell lunch boxes online. No, 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 no. They want to sell lunch boxes to corporate employees. Team, quick question. Do you think this is a proxy or a real one? This requirement. What do you think? What's your gut say? And whatever you chat, team, is between you and me. So while there are 30 plus members in the live session right now, whatever you're doing is between you and me. Does this look like a proxy project or a real project? Team, this is an absolute real project. Now I know that they've come to me and said they want a website and a mobile app and the entire technology platform, correct? Now this is the project team. In this, what is core? They need to do food preparation, they need to do packing, and they need to do transportation or delivery, correct? Where is IT coming in, team, in this? IT is typically a support function in everything, okay? Now, the simplest thing is IT is a tool. Whatever they write, they need to track it. And one of the most important things that they want to track are sales. So now this company wants to track the sales. Let us talk about that. How to track my daily sales. How do we do this, team? Option 1. Do I have more text here? Yeah, I think we are there. Option 1 is maintain it in a note. Okay, how do I put it? Actual textbook, uh, textbook, notebook, actual pen and a book, right? That is what has been done for a long time, team. Then there are challenges that arise. What happens when we want to put it in your book? You can't share it with anyone, correct? That is a challenge. And you can't edit it also. Why? Because you wrote it with a pen. There are a couple of problems. Then there's an option 2. That is using a notepad tool in a PC. Option 3, to track the daily sales for our new customer who's planning to sell lunch boxes to corporate employees. For them to track that, we can also use Microsoft Word. Why will we go to Notepad? Why will we go to Microsoft Word? So there's always pros and cons to each option. So this is a con, like negative. Then there is a pro. Team, if you want to be someone in the IT industry, here is a time when you start thinking like your customer. Who's your customer? This company who wants to sell lunch boxes to corporate employees. For them, if they are successful, they would want to hire IT staff who can develop. So the business has to do well, team. Why is it important for them to write down their daily sales in a notebook? Pro. Now, so look, this is where I want you to think logically. What is the advantage? And tell me please in chat quickly, everyone. Why should we use a notebook? Easy to write? No. Why is it? Everyone. To store history of transactions. Perfect. History of transactions. Who did I pay where? Who owes me how much? Some track. Can save money. Sure. Perfect. Awesome. See, it saves money. It is easy to write. I will change that from easy to write. Easy to remember. Because I've written it down somewhere. Correct? Perfect, team. That is the reason we are writing it. Correct? Then why is it we'll move to Notepad? The tool that I'm using today to be able to speak to you is with Notepad. So Notepad is pros of all that is there with the notebook. Additionally, save, edit, share, and collaborate a little bit, not really collaborate. Correct? Now, this is the reason why we should go to Notepad. Why will we go to Word? Honestly, team, for this, not really required, but just to show you what Word will do. Then option 4 is our amazing Microsoft Excel, team. I believe even now IT only needed a Microsoft Excel. Everything else is a great packaging over it. As things got more and more complex, the requirements have gone more and more. Now we will then look at a Microsoft Excel. For the same client who plans to sell lunch boxes to corporate employees, we are answering one question: customer requirement, that is how to track my daily sales. I'll say customer requirement one. Do you think this customer will only have one requirement? No, they'll have more requirements. Like what? Customer requirement two is how to, what's that? Sell online. Now for this, what we'll end up doing, team? We have to develop a website. We have to do maybe a mobile app. I don't know. Right? But there's a lot more, team. It starts actually with a lot about, we have to sit down in kind of interviews or discussions or brainstorming, and we come up with some kind of user layout experience, a lot of things. But as the customer requirements keep increasing, you will see more and more. Customer requirement two, how to uh, promote my products. And as part of this, you can talk about things like search engine optimization, social media marketing, pay-per-click, Google Analytics, and so on. And all of these team, yes, thank you, Taslima, for correcting me, customer requirement 3 will tell us, hey, you know what? Just creating a website is like opening a store and not telling the world that, hey, I launched a store, please come to my store, right? So they want to promote their products. That is how businesses grow, team. And that is how their requirements will grow. And then I will put one last requirement, team. How to, I don't know, get a good dashboard. And believe me, team, this is the story of every business. We start with some kind of a problem, like I said. All right, where am I here, right? Some problem, new customer atomic selling XYZ to ABC and so on. The project is they want to sell lunch boxes to corporate employees. Now, how many customers do they have right now? Zero. Zero right now. Customers today? Zero. But will it be the same in 1 month? No, they may have 100, right? When they have 100 customers, they want to track their daily sales. As they grow and they see that, hey, people are liking it, I think I can serve 10,000 customers, they want to go online. They'll enable, create a platform. Now they'll see, hey, you know what? I think I have a global audience. How do I take my food product and promote it globally? All right. And then I am doing great as a business. Now I want to sit back as a CEO, relax, and just look at something called as a dashboard that tells me how much am I making. That's all that businesses want to do. And repeat this and create more and more businesses, team. Do I make sense what I'm talking, team? Everyone? Are you all in line with me, please? There's one gentleman who's saying, I do not follow, I'm having trouble listening. Maybe there's an audio connection. But for otherwise, team, everyone else, are you all with me? Perfect. So when we meet on day one, look at this as a customer. I will also talk about the name when we consult with the customer and say what it is. Day one agenda, very simple. We have a project. We know what we're going to do. We'll start working on it. All right, team, that's it from my side for today. So consider this as an orientation and intro to day one. When we start with day one, we will go to our first requirement and we'll go deep. We'll do it nicely. I think in the first day itself, we'll get to Excel very quickly. That's where we want to stay for a couple of days. And then we can go into the other things. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Appreciate your time and your involvement. Really great. We'll see you back in the day one. I don't know the exact date. I believe that I have that my team confirmed to me yesterday was March 5th um, as the start of day one team. So we have like a festive long weekend here in India. So 5th. Yep. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. We'll see you back in day one. Take care. Bye now. Bye all. Thank you.